Hey guys, what's cracking? It's Krakenation here, and today we're going to be talking about PINCURCHIN. PINCURCHIN is bootleg pyukumuku. Analysis, done. Done. Go home, you're done here. You know everything you need to know about this Pokemon. Just kidding, obviously not. PINCURCHIN is a very different Pokemon than Pyukumuku in practice, despite the fact that it feels like it should probably just be the same Pokemon. So I was shocked when I saw this guy. I was like, wow, didn't they just make this? But apparently they didn't, and they're doing it again. But PINCURCHIN is a Pokemon released in Generation 8 Pokemon Sword and Shield, and today we're going to be doing a competitive analysis video on it. I'm pretty excited about it. I actually am deceptively impressed by this Pokemon. It's going to put that out tentatively. Not saying it's going to be amazing, but don't sleep on it. But if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. We're growing the channel really quickly, and it's been absolutely incredible to watch. So if you want to be a part of that journey in this community, go ahead and click that subscribe button. But alright, let's go ahead and jump right into PINCURCHIN. So, PINCURCHIN is a pure electric type, deceptively good defensive typing. Only one weakness and two resistances, the resistance being electric and steel types, but then you're also only weak to ground type. So, a decent defensive typing to boot, definitely pretty solid. Its abilities are Lightning Rod, which, okay, that's alright, but notably its other ability is Electric Surge, which automatically starts electric terrain on the field, making it so that no Pokemon that are grounded can fall asleep, and also electric type attacks have a 50% boost from all grounded Pokemon. And so that's going to be pretty interesting and make these electric type attacks coming from PINCURCHIN potentially really dangerous. So let's go ahead and take a look at this thing's stats. HP 48 is pretty bad, so this thing's bulk is going to be kind of limited by that to boot. 15 speed, also obviously terrible, but whatever. You'd rather be totally completely garbage slow like this thing is rather than be like almost okay like 50 or 60. You'd rather be 15 than you would be 50, I think, in Pokemon, because that means your stats went somewhere else that's a little more useful. After that though, its stats are pretty much average to above average across the board. Decent mixed offenses, decent mixed defenses, obviously a little better on the physical side. So with some HP investment, which obviously you're always going to be able to run HP investment on this thing, you're going to actually be pretty bulky. So definitely has a chance to take a hit and hit back pretty hard with its electric move. So let's go ahead and take a look at those moves, speaking of which. So it's got a pretty decent move pool here, both in the support and offensive set. So Discharge is going to be a really good offensive option for you. You can also pick Thunderbolt, obviously, but it's going to be between those two on your special attacking side. Physical moves, one thing I didn't write here actually is Zing Zap. Zing Zap is an 80 base power move that has a 30% chance to flinch. It's an electric move. Now keep in mind that you will never flinch anything with PINCURCHIN unless you're in the Trick Room, because you are always going to be slower than your opponent. So Zing Zap's flinch chance isn't insignificant, but the fact that it's an 80 base power physical electric move is fairly significant actually, so I probably should have included it here. Other good special moves you get Hydro Pump, you get, and then also you get Hex, you get, those are both pretty good options. Venoshock is interesting if you're able to get a status on something with like a status move or something with your Toxic Spikes or something. Speaking of which, it gets both access to Spikes and Toxic Spikes. It has a pretty good physical move pool. Things like Sucker Punch are pretty cool. Also, Payback, Poison Jab are both really good options. Liquidation, a good physical coverage move that allows you to hit those ground types. Finally, it's got, again, like I was saying, really great support options. Things like Spikes and Toxic Spikes to start with, but also like Curse is really cool. And Recover is obviously going to be really, really good. Sorry, what was I saying? Memento is the other one I want to talk about. Memento could be a really good option to help your setup sweepers get a free chance to come in and start going off. So a pretty good support move pool overall. So let's take a look at a couple sets I have cooked up here. So this is going to be the utility PINCURCHIN set. And so the goal of this set is that while not losing you all offensive pressure because of Electric Surge plus Discharge, you're going to actually have a pretty good offensive pressure. Everybody's also going to get one of those random paralyzes, and your opponent's going to feel really bad, but you're going to feel really good. So we're going to run leftovers on this set to maximize your survivability. 252 HP, 252 defense, and a bold nature is going to maximize your physical bulk. We're going to stay on the physical side. You're going to use this more of like a physical tank, and then you can also use Recover to get some of your health back. And then you can use Spikes and Toxic Spikes to set up hazards all over the field and all over your opponent. Now, if you wanted to sub out one of these moves and maybe run something like Memento or Thunder Wave, also definitely an option. You can switch Discharge in for Thunderbolt if you don't want that paralyzed chance, and instead you want a little bit of extra damage. You'd also switch to Zing Zap. In that case, it might even be a little better. I don't know. That's up to you and your team support. Just keep in mind, Zing Zap has only 80 base power compared to Thunderbolt's 90, but it is coming off a higher attack stat. So depending on how your team is constructed, I would choose between one of those three electric moves. But I put Discharge here because I think this ability is going to give you the chance to paralyze your opponent's team and make it even better as a utility Pokemon. The next set I have here is called the Don't Step On Me set, and it's going to be a choice banded Pinurchin set. So this is the legend, right? We're going to run Choice Band and actually be able to hit pretty hard with it. We're going to run Zing Zap here, 252 HP again, obviously, but then the max attack and Adamant Nature to maximize our offensive potential. Liquidation is going to let you hit those ground types that are immune to your electric stab. Sucker Punch is a cool option on this thing and could randomly get a random revenge kill. It's kind of hilarious to think about this Pokemon using any kind of priority move, but it's going to be pretty good for it and allow it to, like I said, get those random revenge kills and random cleanup options, maybe in some situations. But on the last spot, I'm going to give you a couple options here. Poison Jab and Self-Destruct are both options. Another option could be something like Payback or Throat Chop if you wanted for a dark move, but I'm going to go with Poison Jab to either hit Fairy or Self-Destruct could be cool as a last second just nuclear option. Explode all over your opponent with a banded Self-Destruct, but which I apparently misspelled. Apparently I don't know how to spell Self-Destruct. For the most part, I'm thinking Zing Zap. Because you're under Electric Surge, Zing Zap is going to be significantly stronger than all your other moves all the time, so you're going to want to, for the most part, click that move all the time. So looking at some pros and cons, it's got deceptive offenses thanks to Electric Surge. It's pretty good in that sense. It's got a really useful utility move pool with those moves like Curse, Toxic Spikes, Spikes. Speaking of which, Curse is actually another viable set you could run for sure. But yeah, so Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Recover, all that good stuff. Memento, decent offensive move pool. It's got a really decent offensive move pool as far as like physical and special side we saw. Recovery access, obviously having Recover on defensive Pokemon is always huge, and unfortunately not all defensive Pokemon get Recover, but this Pokemon fortunately is one of the Pokemon that does. There are some cons to it, however. Obviously being very slow could be a problem. If you can get this Pokemon some Trick Room support, if anything, that's a good thing, but that's pretty hard to do. No Volt Switch is kind of a bummer. If this thing got Volt Switch, it would probably be really good. It would really help out to run Volt Switch on the thing. We could stab Volt Switch under Electric Surge with a decent special attack. That could be pretty solid, and it would be a really good slow pivot to bring in your faster attack rates for free. Finally, this thing can't really stomach powerful hits. It doesn't have a great way to boost its bulk, and then furthermore, unlike Pyukumuku, it doesn't have like Unaware or anything. It doesn't have like Haze options, and it also doesn't have quite as much bulk as Pyukumuku does, so you're not going to be stomaching as powerful hits nearly as well. This Pokemon trades Pyukumuku's bulk for more offensive options. So let's take a look at some team options and things to look out for when you're using Pinurchin. I think Sweepers are going to be a really good option for Pinurchin because it has the ability to support those Sweepers with things like Paralyzes or Spikes or Toxic Spikes to get chip damage, or maybe some damage off discharge with some powerful attacks. Or even something like Memento could be a really good option to support your sweepers. Kind of in the same vein, fast wall breakers will really appreciate all the same things that Pinurchin does in the same way that sweepers do. So again, those Pokemon will really appreciate the chip damage from hazards, random paralyzes. Those kind of things will be really good for it. Flying types are really good partners for Pinurchin. Pinurchin can take on electric types for these flying types that are going to be weak to, obviously, electric. And then, in return, flying types can switch into the ground types that Pinurchin is afraid of. Trick Room support is going to be really viable for Pinurchin. Now, obviously, in general, I'm not a big fan of running Trick Room on a Pokemon that can't utilize Trick Room itself. So the fact that Pinurchin doesn't get Trick Room isn't going to be a big selling point for me. But with under Trick Room support, this Pokemon could definitely be viable. So big threats for you, like we kind of discussed, wall breaking in general will be a problem that Pinurchin faces. Powerful attackers can quickly overwhelm. This thing is relatively mediocre compared to defense stats. Ground types are also a big problem for you because you can't use your best moves being your electric moves. All your other moves are going to be significantly worse, so you can't use those electric moves. And then finally, opposing electric types will be a problem for teams with Pinurchin because those Pokemon will be able to benefit, probably, assuming they're grounded, from that electric surge. That electric terrain will benefit them, and then you're basically giving your opponent a potential boost. Furthermore, you won't be able to hit those electric types very hard with your Pinurchin because they are also going to resist electric. So let me know what you guys thought about this video. I think Pinurchin's got deceptively decent potential. It could easily be like, I could imagine like an RU or NUmon when, relatively speaking, you would probably expect this thing, based on what it looks like and its stats in general, probably be basically the bottom of the barrel. It could easily be like an RUmon, I think. Definitely has some potential. I'm pretty excited to try it. It seems like a good little mon, fun guy to use. It seems like a really fun Pokemon to use, and that's what I think good enough for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment, rate, subscribe. Make sure you're keeping up to date with everything that I'm doing on this channel. And we also have that Discord community in the description box below. It's been rapidly growing. The chat's getting pretty lively. It's been absolutely fantastic seeing people start to get started on these conversations about competitive Pokemon and what they think and what they're enjoying using. There's also a lot of stuff like as far as Sword and Shield, like trades and advice going on about in-game stuff. So that's a lot of good stuff you could go there to learn about. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.